Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a paid advertising. TheOnlyGround.com, the THE onlyground.com is one of the most amazing places for information that I consistently go to. If you guys want to have conversations about our old interviews or even topics that we don't discuss, the group of people that are on the onlyground.com message boards are some of the most brilliant that I have ever come across. Those little like knick-knack facts that we get here and there, that's where a lot of it comes from. Please check out the link in the bio.
Welcome to the show. I am MMA insider and Herb Dean's dog sitter, Joey Venti, and you're listening to the MMA History Podcast, the only podcast dedicated 100% to the preservation of mixed martial arts history. Interviews and stories about the early days of MMA direct from the men who lived it. Hundreds of interviews, thousands of hours of research, all conducted by the most obsessed mind in the business, the MMA detective Mike Davis. Join us as we document the history of the sport we all love.
Welcome to the MMA History Podcast. We have got a very special guest, a former national wrestling champion, somebody that's fought in UFC all over the world, and is one of the craziest Google searches we've ever had. It's a person that I believe one day I believe a movie's can be made about his life. Homer, welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, welcome to Beyond. Welcome to Beyond.
Okay, so Homer, let's talk about wrestling.
Yeah.
That's what your roots are. What age do you start?
11. I was 11 years old, and I started here in Maryville, Arizona. It's like a place where that's that area. So it's like it's in Phoenix. Maryville is in Phoenix.
Okay,
But
it's wrestling heavy.
I think what it was is it was heavy, but they didn't have they had some good coaches when I came along. So it was always like one guy or two guys that like made a name for themselves. It wasn't like a pack of wolves really until I came along, and like with this guy named Frank Garcia and Jesse Montero, and then you had this other guy, Elliot Blanket. Like we impacted like that year. It was four of us that really did well. The clumsy guy, Elliot Blanket, was one of the guys I worked out with. He was closer to my weight. He was like 167, and I was at 52 my senior year. I was always like a small dude until like I guess I started maturing physical wise. I started growing, and I kind of shocked myself. I didn't think I was going to be even 5'10". I thought I was going to be like 5'4" the rest of my life.
Yeah, you filled out good. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So you were a national champion over at Phoenix College
Uh-huh.
at 158 pounds, and one of your roommates was Frank Trigg.
Right. Yeah. And so Frank came in from New York, and I think I told the story about this car he was driving. It was a Caprice Classic, and the salt ate most of the car, and he drove that thing way down here as like I think a freshman. I think I'm a year ahead of him, but the thing about Trigg is I didn't understand how great New York was as far as state championships. I understood how great Chicago and New Jersey were because I think Ray Brenzer and you had some other guys out of Jersey. You even got that gold medalist guy on the side of Jersey right now today. I forgot his name. I watch him all the time, the black kid. But the the thing is like respecting New York. And he turned out to be a phenomenal workout partner. He came around with flexibility, and Trigg was just always an outstanding guy. Like he talked a big game, but man, in that wrestling room, he would go with me, and he got better and better and better and better and better and better on the junior college level, And I think we had a duel against it. The issue Sun Devils that year. They had Ray Miller, which wrestled Pat Smith, and
Oh,
we had a
wow.
duel meet against him. And I was a little scared, Because ASU's program with Bobby Douglas and who was there that I think Sean Charles and some other guys were coaching. Sean Charles is in that video and that movie with he's coaching that one guy with one leg that was forgot his name. And I know him. That's a sad thing. He's out of Arizona too. But he coaches at Mesa High. They just did a movie on the guy. You know what I'm talking about?
I
With the
do.
one leg?
Yeah, I do. But yeah, I don't know if it's different.
So
All right.
anyhow, moving into that, we had a dual meet. We lost. I lost to Ray Miller. I came back later. I won the Olympic qualifier. Ray Miller was in the Olympic qualifier. He's the NCAA champ. To remind you, I was a national junior college champion at that time. So when there was a lot of talk between the gold medalist Kenny Monday and Van Arsdale, Zeke Jones, that Ray Miller was going to kick my ass in the Olympic qualifier, which was the Western Regional qualifier that was in San Jose, California. Here I was, a JUCO national champ. I'd already fell down, and I think that was because it was tough for African Americans at that time, unless you just brutally came out of like a big place like Chicago, like where wrestling was big, like that guy Joe
Joe Williams.
Joe Williams, the Williams brothers. I mean, those dudes stood out because they came from a big giant state, and it's like you got all these remarkable people around them. You got all these different colors that they're around. Here, it wasn't a lot of that. They had a big camaraderie, so they stood out and they made a very big impact, being from Chicago. So I kind of wished I came from like a background like that, but I had to deal with what I had to deal with, which was a small community. And so you had all the gold medalists and all those guys talking about Ray Miller definitely stomping me out because he was from Oklahoma. And they had a big thing. They got a big wrestling program back in Oklahoma and Hawaii. So here I was from Arizona going up against all these talks about all these people that were from big states that had a big thing for wrestling. And so I think I defeated him. It was like 2-2 at first. And then I came out with this big throw for like 3, which was impeccable. And the gold medalists, everybody was shocked. So it shut everybody up. I mean, instantaneously. Like they were shocked. No words said. And they got a big mural of Ray Miller like this, the gold medal with not the gold medal with the as an NCAA champion. So every time I walk through there and I see that at the ASU Sun Devil Stadium, I tell them, I look at my little girls and I say, "See that guy right there? Your father defeated him, and nobody says shit about it." And I said, sometimes it's better less said, because I'm the man that can walk through here with my head up. That's just something that happened to me. And so what they did later on is, since I beat him, the gold medalist Kenny Monday had then became afraid of me. Now I was a super threat, because had he stayed here and trained, I was going to get better, and I was going to probably compete against him in the final Olympic trials, which they had in Spokane, Washington, and defeat him, and probably wrestle Sean Bourmet or Pat Smith in the finals and be one of those guys, and I would have been the number 1 guy at 74 kilos. So instead, what happened was they pulled all the workout partners from me at that time. And when they did that, I was left here in Arizona, which, remember, the big states have all the big workout guys. I was left with nothing. And that was for 2 weeks. And I sat here and I was just like, how could they do this to me? Like, they know that I was an up and comer. But in the political game of things, that's how things work. But as a young man at that time, struggling with that, not having an idea, I thought it was like a race card at that time, because I had no knowledge of it. That's just how my mind was. I was kind of thinking that way. Could it be that? I really didn't know what the heck it was, to be quite honest. But my mind kind of leaned in that direction a little bit, and I was just wondering because you had a lot of cowboys and hicks that were the decision makers back then, and they chose what they wanted to choose. And here I was, a guy from Arizona, so like, yeah, I mean, uh, it's not something that like people want to touch on like today,
Ah, it's
but
the
like
truth.
back
It's all
then,
politics. It's
it was
politics.
it was
Yeah.
like it was kind of like that.
Hey, Matt
And
Lindland had to sue to get on. Yeah.
dude, I heard Mike Van Arsdale, like his family, he's half his mother's like German or Scottish, and I never thought in a million years he came out because I mentioned something a long time ago about that, like what we just spoke on. He said, Homer, you know what, dude? This is Mike Van Arsdale. He fought in the UFC, he fought Couture, he fought everybody. Kids have white, he's like red bone, but this dude right here was a tough as nails. I don't care how white his mama is. This dude was tough. And so he comes out, he says, Homer, you know, I remember you mentioned to me about, this like race car thing. And he says, dude, the odds were against me like that. And I looked at him because he used to make mockery of me, like, yo, Homer, you don't know what you're talking about, like I was a little kid, and just to hear him finally come to face and kind of like touch on something like that, it was like I was like in awe. I was just like, did you just say that? I said, oh my God. I was saying, oh my God, man, you know what, Mike, you wrestled really hard. You played the game. You were in the finals with Norman Douglas so many damn times. And there was a gentleman, who did he say his name was? Tim. I think his name was Tim. He was a big guy, like he was the director. I can't remember his name, buddy, but I tell you what, I put it out there. And this guy was behind the scenes trying to make Mike Van Arsdale lose because Mike had beat him several times. I mean, kicked his ass. So when this guy went into a higher position in USA Wrestling, he was behind Melvin Douglas, trying to push Douglas to beat Mike every time, and Mike never knew that. He was wondering why all of a sudden he was losing a card. This wasn't going right, and that wasn't going right. And he touched on it, and it had
Wow.
kind of like with the race card, but this guy was using another guy to kind of do the dirty work.
That's politics. I mean, you're looking at Matt Lindland having to sue to get on. So Frank Trigg, you guys were teammates. You guys were in the same room.
Yeah.
He goes to Raw. Were you ever invited over there, or was there just kind of a
I
clean
was,
separation after
it
college?
was, Raw was a big thing with Rico Chiapparelli. Those guys back then, I think since, you know, how I come up was a tad different. They really like, it was like I was a country guy, Arizona guy. Nobody wanted to touch Arizona at that time. And, but it was cool when you were face to face with them. Hey, how's it going? And but then you never know what they were saying behind your back. So it was kind of like that back then for me. So I just kind of stuck with the guns I had. Eddie Urbano was my big gun. This guy beat Nate Carr several times. He beat Kenny Monday, and this was a Mexican guy that grew up on Pepsis and cheeseburgers. That live out in and I tell you what, man, you go to the U.S. Open, you see Nate Carr, you see this guy Eddie Urbano getting ready, dude. He made Dan St. John look like he ate him up like a sandwich. I mean, he kicked Mike Van Arsdale's butt like a sandwich. I mean, this guy wasn't to be played with. So that's who taught me.
So what do you and Frank were roommates for a while. What was it like living with him?
It was like babe, I'll be with you in a minute. I'm busy. Um, it was like, I mean, dude, we were 19, 18 years old. I mean, I was living in an apartment. We were all living in an apartment sharing. I think both of them got jobs at UPS. Frank Trigg was clean. He washed dishes. Herb House on that dude was like I mean, he didn't wash dishes like he was on a Capri Green. And I heard those dudes over there just,
Yeah, it's
he
rough.
just,
No, it's rough.
you know,
Yeah, it's legit
clean.
rough.
Yeah, it's legit rough. That's what I heard. And it's like he didn't like to clean, dude. You do it. Like, just leave it there, like project. I'm like, man, you ain't leaving the oatmeal like all over the counter, and that's just gonna stack up every day with chocolate and everything, protein shakes. We're not doing that. So it became a problem, and then I think that's what him and Frank kind of got into it. And so when that happened, that's when the fight broke out with both of I'm in an interview. I'll talk to you a little bit. So
Got your little kid there. I'm sorry,
yeah,
man.
she should be in bed right now, and I'm trying to wind. I'm a single dad, and it's tough sometimes. Trying to. And she just started. Leah just started kindergarten, so
Oh,
you know.
so so
But
so
go ahead.
Herb House and Frank
Roommate,
Trigg got into a fight.
dude, yeah, they do. I mean, it was like the biggest. You ever seen the Bloods and Crips? Dude, it was like the Bloods and Crips, man. So, and reason why I'm saying that, it was a brutal fight. It was like watching two gangbangers, like, go at it. And man, they're fighting down the stairs, and the little guy freaking knocks freaking Frank Trigg's tooth out. I mean, and Frank was my boy. It's my boy. I love Frank. I love the both of them. But just watching the two dudes that are your roommates actually go at it, and the one that was the nasty one ends up being the guy that knocks the guy's teeth out. It was ridiculous. But Frank later on becomes, and I thought Frank was just going to pick him up and slam him on his neck, but this guy's like third in the world in Greco-Roman in the U.S. Open. So we didn't know that at the time when they started battling. So it was like a little couture fighting, Mark Coleman or something. It was just yeah. So it was like a little couture, man. I'll never forget that. But so. But Trigg overall took that and just turned it up. Like next thing I know, he was on with Pride, and I'm like, man, I need to connect with him. And I think because we were kids and we laughed about that situation that happened when they were roommates. I mean, I kind of laughed like about it. I mean, I shouldn't have, but it's supposed to. Had it happened to me, I would have got laughed at, and I would have had to get tough because of it, had I got my tooth knocked out or something like that. And I wouldn't be bitter towards. I would say I would have been like, yo, you'd have to kick my ass or whatever, knock my tooth out and move forward. But some people take it differently. So,
I could see that.
yeah, so I think that's kind of why, like, when Frank got in the industry, like, if it was always distant because that story could come up or come out, and here I am, like, what, 30 something years talking about it, and it's not even a big deal to me because, like, I felt like we were little kids, and we didn't know that we are going to go in the direction that we're going in. I didn't think Frank Trigg knew he was going to be this big, awesome commentator for Pride Fighting Championships. I don't even think he knew he was gonna be in a world championship fight, So it's like you look back at it, it's like, hey Frank, you know what? It all started right here with us right here, and had we not met, maybe all these things would have never came out. All these brilliant ideas of who you are today wouldn't have came about to who you are. And
That's
it's
true.
like, I'm like, man, you can't fail to realize why you're as tough as you are today. And I guarantee today, Frank is like, I think he had, I don't know how many kids last time I seen him. Couture was there. He was there with his kids, and I said hello to him, but he still acted a little bit different, which is okay. It's a fine, and I think he was working and doing some law enforcement stuff. So, like, he can't, I guess he couldn't laugh as much as he used to.
Oh,
So it's like one of those type of things. But
so
I have family like that too, as law enforcement. I'm like, yo, you're either gonna laugh or you're not gonna laugh. If you ain't, then I'm gonna get away from you. So
Okay, so you talk about the Arizona scene, and Arizona is currently a hotbed for mixed martial arts and kind of mega
yeah,
camps. The earliest camp that I could tie you into was Richard Hamilton's school. Was it Phoenix School of Martial
yeah.
Arts? I
So
believe it was
Team
called.
Phoenix, and when I walked in there, I was over at Team Megaton. Megaton was at Phoenix College back in '90, before Brazilian Jiu Jitsu even jumped off.
It was Megaton Diaz.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
he's now in Hell's Angels, from what I heard. I'm not putting him on blast because the whole gym. I mean, he's all the way out here from Brazil, and he's a world champion, and he's the best guy at it. And I mean, these guys jumped on the bandwagon and just like, hey, we got it, dude. If we want to be tough in these streets, they walked in that gym and they were in there. Whether
Okay.
those angels, whether it's skinheads, my whole gym was full of skinheads and HA stuff like that. And I stood out and I got respected because I had that wrestling background, and plus, you know, in Scottsdale, like I rolled around with some of the tough crowds and stuff like that, and it wasn't because I was already tough. It wasn't that they made me tough. I made myself tough. I built myself to be fucking tough. I mean, I didn't have a choice because of the arena that I was competing in and where I was trying to get to.
Okay.
Now, so that's kind of how I ended up over at Megatons, and it paid off because I learned a lot of submission there. I mean, the guys who were in there, those guys were. I mean, you would not want to fuck and definitely when it came to jujitsu, they always won the tournaments every single time. Of course, until I transferred over to Hamilton. So the Brazilians, they get upset about stuff like that. You can't leave a Brazilian jiu-jitsu camp with a Brazilian. He will be pissed and ticked off.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of experienced that. But um, what I can say about that experience is, jumping over to Hamilton, I was like, I'm ready to start making money. I'm done. I've learned.
Yeah. How do you meet him? How do you meet Richard?
Richard, let's see. I meet Richard because the Olympic Training Center is going over to um this is when I'm about to wrestle Ray Miller. Okay.
Okay.
So as a matter of fact, I would already beat him, didn't I? All these guys are no, all these Olympic wrestlers are going into MMA. Richard Hamilton happens to be training Don Fry. He happens to be training Dan Severn and Beast in '95. Me, Aaron Simpson. All these guys are watching Dan Severn and Beast, and he wrestled at Arizona State, so everybody's all on it, the bandwagon. And I'm kind
Coleman too.
what's that?
Coleman, he was there.
Yeah. So Coleman, was already on a big U.S. circuit. So for him to like come back, I mean, he was like one of those guys you don't want to fuck with. Like Coleman back then, uh, you were not fucking with Mark. Mark was like, he looks like he just grab you and break every vertebrae in your neck and your back, like just from a headlock like that. I would not want to. I would not want to be stuck in a bar with that dude back in his heyday. No way. He's from Ohio too. It's crazy. God damn, he was crazy. But so he came into the arena, and we knew that Severn was not going to be able to mess with that guy. Yeah, Severn's from Michigan. He's tough, but this is a whole Ohio guy that was throwing around Mark Hurt and Kurt Angle. I think he was throwing around Kurt Angle too back then.
Yeah,
And we
he
knew
only
Kurt
lost.
Angle. Huh?
He only lost to Kurt once. It was like the only time he needed to beat him, but like he was 8 or 9-0 against Kurt Angle before that one time he lost where Kurt won a gold medal that year. Yeah. Wow. All right. So let's talk
So Angle beat Coleman.
one time. And that one time was his Olympic gold medal year.
Yeah, but hey, I was with Kurt that year at the Olympic Training Center, and dude, he was looking at NFL. I think the dream of being WWE wasn't even there for Kurt. I remember my boy. I was sitting there when he's broke. Like he's trying to figure out. He probably wasn't broke, but he's trying to figure out. He's got to make a decision. What am I going to do with my life? And dude, those matches he had against those dudes. I mean, look at me, literally, those dudes. Man, that was some work.
Yeah.
To beat Coleman and like that, a guy that was a pioneer in the sport, everybody known, tough. You don't know how it's gonna go. He pulled it off.
All right, let's talk about
So
Richard Hamilton.
hands down.
What kind of guy was he?
One fight I had, the guy. So I'm fighting this guy, and I had love for him. Regardless of the only reason why I was trying to kiss ass is because my career just started. He'd already worked with Couture, Townsend Saunders, Mark Coleman, Dan Severn Beast, Don the Fried Predator. And I felt like I need to get my foot in that door. Or since I'm from Arizona, I don't have all the big camaraderie like most of these guys from Chicago, all these different states have. Okay. So I'm going to have to do a little, if I want to break into the circuit like I should be, like I really want to. And I don't know if I think it kind of tainted me because the person that was the promoter, Roland Soria here in town, used that against me to keep selling out his arenas at celebrity theaters. So that's one thing I admire about you, Mike, is that bringing this to face with everyone of how I was just getting pushed around. It was kind of like Mike Tyson's story. Who wants to get bullied like that in a way with these dirty guys that work like that? If you're selling out an arena, brother, you got to give a guy some pennies, right? It was like I was in my heyday. I was like a John Bones Jones, and I was the GOAT here in Arizona. And anybody they threw in there, I come back from Mexico. It was like, pay this guy, take home to Mexico, have him drink tequila, have him get fucked up, have him have some sex with some girls, and we're gonna bring him back to this arena with this big guy from this big Samoan guy from Hawaii. And he's gonna fight him. This guy's gonna be 360 pounds when they weigh in on the scale. And there's no way in hell that this guy Homer is gonna beat this guy. This big motherfucker falls on me. I'm on my back, Mike. And he starts coming down. This big Kauai Kupihea starts coming down. Am I getting away from the Richard Hamilton?
Yeah, dude. I got this. I got these questions. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't want to cut you off. I'm not trying to be
away
rude.
From the Richard
okay,
Hamilton
but here's the thing about Richard Hamilton. Here's the thing about Richard Hamilton. Richard Hamilton was in a witness protection program.
Prior to when I met him?
Yes. Richard Hamilton was not his real name.
Okay, see, we didn't know that. I had no idea. Here's this guy like me walking around innocent, and I'm around some fucking serious predators.
Yeah, he was. He was a predator.
Yeah. Well, so what was he in witness protection for?
All right. So it's kind of confusing. He was arrested for underage relationships, correct?
Yeah, I remember that. That was okay, so his wife was Heather, and she was an attorney. Okay, then there was a Jewish chick that was 16, from what I understand, that stayed over with the wife and him at the house. And supposedly the wife left, and here he is banging the Jewish chick. And I remember as a 16-year-old girl. I remember the parents, and kind of remember some of that. And yeah, I kind of just remember a gist of it.
All right, so he went to jail for that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My father was at that time working at the prison. He worked at Alhambra prison, and he was a big a guard over there. My father was. So he said, son, Richard, your coach is in here. So because he looks at he can look at everybody's charges. It doesn't matter what's in there, and so he gave me insight. And in my mind, I still was like trying to understand like what was going on at the gym, and then he had already got charged for it. And so I just didn't quite understand the whole ins and outs. I thought maybe, um, you know, now that I look at it, it's like, wow, I didn't know the whole ins and outs about everything back then.
Okay, so the belief, and I've heard this from multiple sources, that is that he was a predator prior to this, was in a witness protection program for that, and then got caught up with it again. And the feds came. Did they interview you in regards to?
I never got touched by none of those, man. I never got spoken to about any of that. To me, like the way it looked was like he's housing this young girl, and like I seen the girl at one of the practices again, I guess around after that happened, supposedly, right? And the parents were kind of like still letting her, I think, come show up or something like that, if I remember correctly. And it was kind of odd. Like, what the fuck's going on? You motherfucker, you did that. Wait a minute, if that's your goddamn daughter and he ran up in her, like, what the hell she had to practice? You know what I'm saying? I just get all that. All right, shit, man. If that would have been one of my kids, I don't know. I probably would have had a 12 gauge for him or something like that. So like Cain Velasquez, man. I mean, shit. I mean, you seen the Cain Velasquez situation?
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it's a tight dude. When you talk about, and guess what? Um, what's that guy from Russia that beat Conor McGregor?
Khabib.
Khabib made a comment about it. He said, man, you cannot expect him to shy down from being a man. This is his son. Okay. Your job is, I know there's laws. Okay. I get that. But when it comes to a certain thing, I mean, he's involved in his life. And
Yeah.
he lost his life. He gave up his life to make sure that this dude understood not to ever do that again. I mean, he let the world know, do not ever do this again.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got to give the guy a pat on the back for that, because like that took a lot of balls to do that.
So Hamilton was in the witness protection program for what it is he reoffended on, is what the belief was. And Richard Hamilton was not his real name. So he was living a lie the entire time. And it wasn't his gym out of the basement of a church.
So listen, I met his wife, right? And I just happened to be downtown picking up some paperwork. And she happened to touch that. I kind of looked at her, and I'm like, I thought, and see, I was like, maybe because her shit of because he's got lawyers. Remember, he's dating a girl that's a lawyer, and he's trying to make sure ain't nobody gonna try to hurt him or kill him. Even the fighters that he trained, if they learn about his life and the truth and the facts and stuff, that there's an open door. Maybe somebody could approach him and that's it. Lights out. So I kind of looked at it like that, and she kind of was like she's kind of innovative but kind of aggressive in a way. And I'll never forget that. And I was like, like, you don't know anything about what I've experienced. You don't know anything about my case. I mean, what matter of fact, why would you even be dealing with somebody if you knew me and I've never been a threat to your husband? why are you approaching me like that? It was like it was kind of odd, bro. It was kind of odd. And anybody that knows me, man, that really knows me, they know that when I say some shit, it's some real shit. So yeah, so he is. Then what I was going to tell you about him is I had a world title fight at the where the hockey players play out here at the jobbing arena, and he tied my hand up. When he wrapped my hands up, it was a guy he used to train, that trained in his gym that I surpassed, Mark Z, and he wraps my hand up to where if I hit him, when I hit him, it would break, and I would realize it, and I ended up breaking my metacarpal in my hand. And guess who does it? The child molester, Richard Hamilton. Right? And I lost a deal with Hummer. I was doing a commercial for Hummer at that time, and I really like what's coming out right now. What I'm hearing from you, I'm kind of getting a gist of what kind of individual I was really dealing with at hand. And at that time, it was dog eat dog world. I had to learn hands on as to what kind of character he was. And I would give a person a chance to give me who they were. So I couldn't zero in on what I'm hearing right now, what I was hearing back then. I couldn't really zero in. He did a good job at covering that up.
Anybody in the witness protection program, their ability to be a chameleon around with their surroundings, man, there's levels to that game. Like there's levels to manipulation and those types of people. But Dan Severn was also somebody that you were on a mat with.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet his business partner Mark Densberger?
I never, dude, those guys, man, everything, dude. So me and Severn fought at the Celebrity Theater. Okay. So when we fought here at the Celebrity Theater, I end up fighting him, and in the first round, catch him with a right, drop him to his back, right? The fight fans are really shocked as to like how could this have happened? This is Homer Moorhead, and he outweighed me by like what 75 pounds. So they made the fight a draw, and they kind of safeguarded Severn, as I remember correctly back then, and so it was kind of like they they were hiding people, and now if I met the guy, it was brief. It wasn't
okay. That's another guy. That's a fantastic Google search, and will make Richard Hamilton seem like child's play. He's another one.
See, like me being like coming from my family's from Texas, and you know what? Like when I teach my kids today from my experience and my expertise of every little tad bit I went through where I could have lost my life, or I mean the way it impacted me, where like my mental state wasn't actually developed and educated in an area where like someone could have definitely took advantage of me. I never forgot about those. And as a fighter now, as a man, but I tell you what, my children are ready. They will never experience. There will never be. I mean, they're these predators out there, but I have an eye for them pretty much now. And that's just keeping good friends around you, keeping good company too as well.
Yes, Severn has had multiple relationships that were questionable. Hamilton, Densberger, Travis Fulton, but you never experienced it. That's good. That's good. Your first fight, April 7th, 1999, Rage in a Cage, Jason Middaugh. Is that your first fight on record, or was there any prior to this?
I had some fights. So Hamilton would have like Jiu Jitsu.
In '99 was like in April, and like you fought consistent, like you were real durable. Like you didn't get injured a lot.
I really was. Yeah,
So Jason Middaugh, Is that your first? That's your first fight on record. Was there any previous to this?
Yeah, I actually went to Torrance, California, and I went with Rico Rodriguez, and he was out of California at that time. And so I went to Torrance with him, California, and that's where I fought in one of the Torrance shows. And
Wait. So wait, was this the gym with Pedro Hizo, Marco Huas? Were you
yeah,
hanging out with the Luta Livre guys?
yeah. I think that was like those dudes. They had a show with
Oh my
Torrance, man,
God.
and they didn't have like it was like you know how like when they're doing construction they have the green thing covering like so you can't see the construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those type of things, right? And so, man, dude, I seen some gangbanger Olympic. I mean, some guys walking out of there, man. They got busted up, brother, and they had to be their own doctor that day, limping out of there. I mean, some guys probably had their backs, probably vertebrae like torn and scarred, and everything. And so I fought in that show. Rico took me there, and I won my first bout. I did. The guy was tough though. That's when all the big players from Brazil were in, coming into the United States back then and teaching, and especially California was really great at it. You know, because they had the Gracies back then and some other
Yeah.
um, jiu-jitsu schools and stuff that like where Rico trained and stuff like that. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay. So you got mid off, then you got Ron Rump, and you're fighting with the Rage in a Cage. That's Roland Soria at the time.
Right.
What was
So
your
what
experience like with
so
him?
so what Roland was trying to do here I am. I'm on the Olympic stage wrestling. I'm on the college stage wrestling. Here I am as a junior college guy. And if you ask any of the champions today, UFC champions today, like Matt Hughes, Randy Couture, um, let's see who else, Mike Van Arsdale, Quentin Rampage. I was supposed to fight Rich Franklin and King of the Cage. And so I downplayed that to fight Tanner. But then when I downplayed that, like you said, there's some ruthless competitors. So when I called out Ortiz and let's see, who was it, Frank Shamrock, I ended up going to the Lions Den to train at Frank Shamrock, I mean Ken Shamrock's gym, which that was his brother, and then had a Vernon Tiger White there and they got really dirty with me while I was training in their camp. They busted my eye. Um, what was supposed to happen since I was a black guy, uh, Ken Shamrock was going to replace me with this other black guy to the UFC since he had a name and reputation. Here I am from Arizona. I got no backing. So it was like, I'm going to put, excuse my language, this nigger with this other nigger in this other place. It was kind of like that mindset that I saw, that I experienced hands on. And I really honestly like for years I kind of just like, wow, you know what? The best thing I could do is record in my mind to what I felt and 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 assess it in the highest way before I present it. And that's kind of what it was like. It looked like back then. So
Okay.
I ended up getting a go
So
ahead.
Lionsden, were you invited there or did you just show up?
So I called them and let them know. Actually, my manager let them know, which was Mike Tarasca. He was, I think, it was dealing with an Eric, uh, Eric Paulson. Eric Paulson knew Mike, this guy, this attorney that was my attorney here, that's from Chicago, from Peoria, Chicago, and so that's kind of how I kind of got intertwined with the Lions. And I was like, well, you know, I can't train a Saria because Saria is been trying to keep me here to where I'm broke. I'm not making money. You know, and I got this situation with guys that are running around with Sammy the Bull Gravano, and they're in his ear. Like one of his lieutenants, Michael Papa, was in his ear, so he was trying to make it bad for me. There was a little jealousy, and I was running around in Scottsdale, and so here I am as this African American that's heavy into mixed martial arts, and it has a serious wrestling background, okay, that I'm bringing into the arena that Matt Hughes will respect totally 100%. But so where I'm going with this is that I didn't want to deal with Saria because he'd already made some comments which no one had known. He was hoping that I was going to be arrested, thrown in jail. Like his mindset was like it was 19 freaking 23, you know. And at that time, back in 1999, 2000, 2001, you know, 19. And so, you know, I'm dealing with all these negative things, and then and then I'm training with this other predator, Richard Hamilton. I mean, dude, you talking about being surrounded by predators?
Let me set the table for a little bit about this. So, what I can trace back in 1995, you were tied to a motorcycle gang called the Devil Dogs, and it was reported
in 95.
That's the date that I was able to pull.
Yeah, no. I don't
Did I get the date wrong? Did I get the gang right at least?
Yo. Listen, I was a gang. Like, shoot, man. I was doing wrestling in 7th grade to get away from the Carver Park Crips that were coming from LA, and I was raised in a big barrio like Chicano neighborhood. So I grew up fighting a lot of vatos, Chicanos. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know, and so like to try to learn the gang stuff, you know, and then you got my father that's in law enforcement, and like I had a mother and father at home, but I had to try to bear the best I could to try to make it through all that. And I tell you what, it was either you get your butt in that wrestling room, and at 5 o'clock after practice is over, you know the gang members ain't running around. So you got a chance to grab an orange off a tree after wrestling practice because you're hungry, 2 or 3 of them, eat those within that half an hour of getting home, and you're safe. But if you're out at 3 o'clock, 2:30, they're all out there waiting for you. So I picked up the sport, and that's kind of how I got around that. So 95, I was definitely not
what about
doing that.
Never mind the year. Never mind the year. What about the Devil Dogs? Did you ever have any relations with people from that group?
Yeah, of course I had relations. I mean, I'm sure I had a lot of groups, man, that like, dude, you got to talk about an up and coming. This guy, I was state champ, and I was 6th in the nation. I was cool with everybody. You got to be cool with everybody. I don't care. They ain't gonna tell you. They ain't gonna walk up and be like, hey, my nigga, yo, check it, man. I'm from Devil Dogs. You know what I'm saying?
You want some ecstasy?
You want some ecstasy? Pop a pill. You know, I admit I tried the ecstasy back then. I mean, shit, the shit was great.
So,
I mean, I had a good time. I mean, but as far as like all the fucking
business.
chopping off
you never
heads
did business.
Like Harleys and shit. Nah. You see how
cool
I am today. Go ahead.
Right. All right. So, I mean, what I got was, it was headed up by Michael Papa and Jovan Islovic, and that you were
Jovan, I can say this. He was a young kid, and I remember. So I was a male stripper prior, and I was still doing like the Chippendale shit. And so
was Roland
these
Surreal
guys
with you doing that?
Nah. So he didn't know. He had no idea. These guys had no idea that I was dance. I used to dance with you. That's how I was training and paying for the Olympic Games. Is I would dance with U.S. Mel, okay, and do and stuff like that, so I could pay for my meals and my training. I wasn't selling dope and stuff like that. No, man, I was in a place with 100 ladies throwing $5 bills, $2 bills, picking them up and packing that shit and going home, putting that in the bag, and maybe having a cocktail or two, and then get up tomorrow morning and run 3 or 4 miles, hit my weights, get in the restroom room at ASU and fucking knock it out. That's what I was doing. So I had to have a game plan. So when I came across these guys, I really didn't have to get knee deep with him unless like they knew somebody that wanted to sponsor me. Or so since I was starting to become a tough fighter, then everybody wants to be next to you. That's how that world works.
Yes, yeah.
They're all in. You go in the gyms today, ain't nobody gonna tell you who they are, where they are. They're all in there and they're working out and they're training and they're going hard and they know people. Some of the guys that I trained with in the skinhead situation, one of the guy became a Mesa police officer. I was like, this guy socked me in the head. I'm still looking for you. Where you at? But now he's law enforcement and that's just his thing now. And he's probably like, okay, Homer probably won't look for me now.
So you mentioned Sammy the Bull Gravano. Was it his son that you were tied in with, or was it him?
Say again?
You were friends. You'd mentioned Sammy the Bull Gravano.
Yeah.
Was that just an acquaintance of yours, or was it his son?
Well, me and his son at first, I really didn't realize when we met, like how big this thing was, how, their life, you don't really know, because remind me, I'm upper coming and I'm trying to reach my goal in life, which is to become a UFC champion like Dan Severn the Beast was. So, because his brother, Dan Severn's brother, was my coach at Phoenix College when I won the national championship, Dave Severn. And so, so I was compelled. I had a basis to kind of go in this direction. So anybody I met, that was okay with me, because I ended up coming across Mike Tyson. I came across Muhammad Ali. These are people in my footsteps. And so I embrace all of it, and being that I didn't really see, I guess I saw him at a couple parties back then. And Sammy's always been a gentleman to me. I mean, remarkable. When I met him, when he got released, he was remarkable. I gave him a hug. I show respect because that's who I am. And it's because of his son and his daughters seeing how much of a gentleman, and all those devil dogs, all those people, the Michael Papas put their father away for years. Who would want their father ripped away from them for like 17, 20 years? I mean, my father just had heart surgery, for God's sakes, man, and I don't want to see him go. I mean, dude, when he came out of the heart surgery, I'm looking at his face. I'm like, oh man, God, thank you. I'm not ready for him to go. But so I can imagine back then, how their family felt, and there was a lot of jealousy and camaraderie because I didn't fit the race card, and there was some association here, and and I got myself up against a big army, and it's just what it is today. And but I would never take anything back that I've experienced, because this guy can say, hey, you know Homer Moore? Yeah, I know Homer Moore. Sammy can say that. And he's doing well right now. I mean, his podcast is going great. I mean, dude, it's just sitting back hearing the stories like this, watching the YouTube. It's like, dang, wow, this guy, I can't believe like the experiences he's had. And then they showed him getting baptized, and and then their families fighting back to try to bring in the income, so they have a legitimate income instead of pulling money in like how they were living. And man, that's got to be a big tough transition for that family. I'll tell you that, because it's been tough for me. It's been tough for me, and I'm still tough as nails, and I still, like I said, have a lot of things that like you said, these devil dogs, and they some of the guys were okay, some of the members okay, some I just
course.
ignore them.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah,
in 2000, In 2002, 45 devil dogs get arrested by the feds. The rumor was that you were one of them.
Most of them were rats, man. They were rats. You know, all they did was, dude, you know that prosecutor said, he goes, we have 200 witnesses. I looked at him. I'm like, are you kidding me? I can imagine somebody rolling on some ecstasy saying, yeah, Homer did it. No, just talking, just like, man, I'll give you a pill if you say Homer.
That's what the feds do too. Yeah, they'll dangle a name and they'll say, all right, we'll knock off some
Man,
time, but
I
this is
had
what you're
no
saying.
idea. That's a scary. That I mean, everybody's got their angles and stuff, and you don't know how this shit's gonna come out. You know, and thank God. I think a guy that was I wrestled with in college. He definitely worked on the other side, and he asked me. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, and he could tell it was a bunch of just a lot of shit talk, you know. Well, I stand 10 toes down, and so it's like this, you people gonna talk shit, you can't, it's nothing you can do. They said, hey, Homer, bad publicity is good publicity. I said, well, hey, I don't like that shit. So it is what it is.
Did the feds ever question you about that?
uh no, I mean, I had no, I never had any encounters with them.
Yeah, they were floating your name with that quite heavy.
What's
I
that?
remember your name got floated with that group quite heavy.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure because of like me,
Yeah.
Gerard came
And
to
they'd
my
go to the
fight. He was in
fights.
my
Yeah,
limo.
they'd go to the
My
fights
fight.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, so since he's in my limo and he's like riding with me, I think he kind of saw that, like, because he's got both parents, I got both parents, and I think when you have that parent connection, regardless of his father being who he is, the dude had both parents. Okay, that makes a big difference of like how you think and how you are like how your antennas are in your mind. And I kind of that's to me that's kind of what it like seemed like. And so when things happened to him, I'm looking at him like he's inviting me over because he was going to culinary school and stuff. And he said, and I'm like, okay. So I go to the restaurant, and I was delighted. Last time I was in there, I got called a nigger. So it's like, I didn't say nothing. I didn't tell Gerard that this guy that's telling on his father, okay, called me a nigger. So and that was the Michael Papa guy. So, I'm just saying, just looking at those type of words, and I kept bit my tongue. I remember biting my tongue. I was like, man, I could beat the dog shit out this motherfucker. I could grab him over this table and just he had no idea what kind of ass whoop, but his eyes like looked up like, okay, the whole restaurant's gonna kick your ass. Or I'm not dealing with all that, man. If you're man enough to say something like that to me, you better be bad enough to back it up. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, so I walked away from it. So so I guess the time when my situation happened where shit hit the fan, I had dinner with Gerard. He made some halibut, and we talked, and it was sentimental because I could feel like he was like, wow, man, I know he was thinking about his family, and so that right there is like, your family, like you said, family's everything. And it was an impact in a way where like uh, I would be bothered about that, something like that, if somebody ran, I mean, was looking to get my father's neck,
Mhm.
that type of situation.
So you had a lot of close calls. Like a
Dude,
lot of them.
Hey, boy, hey, that shit, dude. If I had a, this is like the first great interview I have had in years, and it's like, so right now we got Chael Sonnen lying about that he did.
We'll
I,
get to all that. We'll get to all that. There's a
okay,
lot. There's a lot.
there's a lot. There's a lot. Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll start right
Okay.
there.
Let's
So,
go because let's just go
okay, go.
chronological. Let's go
All right. So
chronological.
okay. So
Roland
we're still with
Surya.
the devil dog. Right. What?
All right. Roland Surya. He also claimed to have been a stripper. Did you guys work together?
Yeah, of course. It was
Okay.
fun.
So you and Roland were stripping together.
Fun time, dude. Man, dude, I had like they used to, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now, this shit might be funny to you, but it was on the down low. I was like, how am I gonna sponsor myself to train for the Olympics? And so this guy, this professional pro bodybuilder by the name of Troy Alves, okay, he says, hey Homer, like, oh what, man? I'm at PC at the time. I go, I need to figure out something, man. My goal is to be an Olympic gold medalist. And he goes, come over to the show, man. You'd be real good. He goes, you're funny, and you crack me up, and I need a dancer. I need a dancer, dude, like that. And I go, what's the group called? He goes, Men of Color. So we had this place called Jockey Club back then, right? This is where the Arizona Cardinals, Charles Barkley, Cedric Sabalas, everybody used to go, all their wives, and everybody party at, right? And it's owned by this Jewish guy. And so I went in there one night and I meet all this group of guys. I said, how much money can I make, man? Because I got to pay for my supplements and my all my meals and stuff, like my protein and all that. So I was just interested in that. How can I get by with that? He goes, oh, you can make 300 a night, 200, like that. So I'll go, all right, yeah, I'm in, man. See what I got to do. I was already like doing breakdancing when I was a kid, so I could already do the moves, right? So the running man was nothing to me, right? So here I go, started doing the routines with these other black guys, and we're doing the moves, and then you rip off the fucking pants, and the ladies go crazy. So you got to wear this thing called the banana hammock in it, right? What it does is it makes you look like you're bigger than normal, right? And so fucking CC Peniston and let's see who else was there. This girl Malika, dude, it was packed up, and they start there. These girls are drunk, bro. They're screaming like that. Once I heard that like that, and I see money coming, I said I'm in. So like I picked up like $300, and
Fuck it. Is what it is, man.
I picked up that $300, and so I'm transitioning from this guy that's doing that into this fight guy, right? And so I got to make this work, right? So like now I got to work with the muscles and everything, right? So long story short, I did that and ended up winning the Olympic qualifier, brother, just like that.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome. Yeah, we all got
so
side jobs. We all got side jobs.
that shit was, dude. That shit, dude. If I could still do it, I'd go to Vegas. I got a friend, man, right now. They call him Sexy Chocolate. He's got a chick that flies from Paris, right? Pays him like 15,000, and she's that rich. She pays him 15,000 every time she sees him, and he dances at what's that thing called in Vegas, man? Those guys that
The
dance.
Down Under. What is it, like the Thunder from Down Under? Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
those.
he's rocking with them. And they got other shows, man, where there's like a thousand chicks or more that show up. And you meet these wealthy chicks that go to these places, man, and that's how it kind of happens. So,
Hey, dude, it is what it is. Let's get into your fight
but
career.
I'm not doing that. I'm not into that. I'm definitely, trying to do some other things, but I'm not.
That's good. Good. Hey, dude, it was fun when he did it, though. Okay. So April 7th, 1999, Jason Midaw. Then you fight Ron Rumpf, Jesse Valdez. And your fourth fight is against David Harris, who's 12-5 with a win over Edwin Deweese. That's a pretty, that's I don't think David Harris gets enough credit.
Hey,
He's
what
kind of
was his name?
David
What,
Harris.
what was
He's
the
got a
guy's
lot of
name?
fights. David Harris.
Yeah, dude, I smashed him. So
He's got a
now
lot of
I see
fights.
why. So listen, I had to make myself forget like people because it started getting to the point where like, okay, this guy's a piece of shit, or this guy's, I don't want to remember him no more, right? So that's kind of how I had to make myself do because it was like it was too much on my plate with all these fucked up. So I didn't see this thing happening with the Weiss fight. Me and the Weiss fight. I forget that that Harris beat. I didn't even. That's how it was. Like, had I had you as a manager back then, you would have been you one of those dudes that would have made me aware. Yo, homie, you know what? You know this guy. You already whooped Harris, right? Harris already beat Deweese. You don't need to fight Deweese. I can see you doing that, right? But now it's like I look back, I'm like, fuck. You know what? I'd already beat Deweese. I didn't even have to fight him. And Roland throws the fight to Deweese purposely. Had the boxing commission in on it. Everybody was in. And I was like,
So you got a love-hate relationship with Roland.
I love hate, dude. I'm about business, man. If I bring the charisma, man, I had half of the Scottsdale scene in the freaking arena. Like, whether they like me or not. Okay. That's tickets, man. That's money in that guy's pocket. They weren't coming because I didn't have no charisma or there was no likeness. Whether they liked me or they didn't like me, they liked me for something. They respected me, and they came through that door, and that's all that guy needed. So when we talk about a love or hate thing, dude, he's got people in his back pocket, uh, pointing at. I mean, like guns pointed at me. Right? There's no need for that. I didn't come with all that. I'm just coming here, man, trying to get my career going. You know,
Had that
respect me
happen
on
to you?
that,
Did you
brother.
ever have a gun pointed at you at an MMA event?
No, 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 no. But
Okay,
I've
this
had
is a figure
a,
speech. Okay.
I had a situation happen where um a dude did shoot at my head. I took it from him, but since I didn't want a second murder investigation, I didn't kill him. And then come to find out, the police officer gets there, right, and my nerves are still going, right. This is two guys that are trying. He shoots as I asked him like about my door, tries to blow my head off, and I like that, lock him up in this Kimura, carry his ass to the door. The other Mexican guy is coming with a 45, and I got him in a submission hold so tight that if the gun goes off, if his gun goes off, he's going to shoot his friend in the back, right? And then I'm basically going to be left to kill both of them if I can, So so this would have been even more of a dent on my career, right? And so I carry the guy in the store to try to evade it. The clerk in the store is set up to say that I started the whole thing. Can you imagine back then the negative camaraderie that I had going? It was like I keep meeting the bad people. So um, thank God it played out like it did, for me, because like it could have went the other way.
You beat David Harris, smoked him. Who's legit tough guy? Drew Mora, you got him. Zach
I think
Blackwood.
I beat Harris twice.
You did beat Harris twice. You got Mora, you got
Yes,
Blackwood, you got the
and I
Hawaiian
never knew
after
he
that.
beat that one.
The Hawaiian
Yeah,
after
the
that,
Hawaii,
October 4th, 2000, Kauai Kupihea, who's got wins.
Hawaii Kupihea.
He's got wins
Now
over.
everybody that he threw in there was definitely supposed to smoke me.
So
Definitely.
Kauai has got wins over Wade Ship and Travis View.
Say again.
He's got wins over Wade Ship and Travis View. Like his record isn't great looking, but then you look at the guys he fought and who he beat, and you're like, man, Kauai is legit.
What? I had no time to do research. All I know is that when I got back from Mexico, all of that 300 and whatever the hell that was, it fell on top of me when he was trying to plunder to my nose. And back then I was only weighing like 195. So I throw him off and then I go to work on him. I defeated him, I think, twice or once or twice.
Twice. Yeah, you got him twice too. So you were in Mexico. Would they ply you with alcohol? Get you
Well,
your
it's
woman
like,
over there?
nah, what it was is like, since I was like the star at that time, people would, and I was afraid of this, like I could defend myself just because I was from a tough neighborhood, but then at the same token, um, I would hope that I would never get myself into something where it's too bad without the right help. So when I got there, I'm kind of watching what's going on, dude. I was doing, I mean, it's like setting a person up for failure. Hey, dude, let's do shots. Boom, 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 boom. But nobody said one time, hey, dude, don't you got a fight coming up? you you don't have a fight. I mean, you've been whooping ass for a long time, Homer. You gotta have a fight coming up. No? Okay. Nothing like that. Not one time. And then when that guy, dude, I'm looking around, and, you know what I mean? Because I'd slipped or something like that. And Kauai is no big, no small guy. This is a big fucking joker,
He's a big
right?
dude.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like right now, if I had to scrap that, yo, back then, that guy right there,
Yeah, he's
I
got
would,
knockouts over Wade Ship and Travis View. He's as legit as it gets. Yeah, he's tough.
that was even supposed to take my head off, and he wasn't,
Yeah.
and I wasn't even a heavyweight like that. I was a light heavyweight. They weren't fighting against light heavyweights because I would go through them, which that was what the game plan was for me, so I could fight in the UFC a lot faster, and also stay in the arena for a long time.
So Shane Johnson's your next fight after him, and you're going every month. You're fighting at this point. Shane Johnson's 3-0 with the win over Seth Bagzinski. That's another tough guy.
Dude, I got concussions during those times. No doctor was telling me, "Hey, Homer, you can't fight." You know how I figured it out? Uh, I was losing $800 glasses. I lost videos. I lost so many different things, and this just goes to show how good Rosary is. Like, doctors were, the staff was, and these are supposed to be serious professional. Even the boxing commission's supposed to be able to look at these fighters and make sure that they're safe and that they're able to go out there. Because all these guys are making money. A fighter is making peanuts. He's getting robbed. It happened to me. I can honestly say that. And today, um, I think that if I got into the fight arena as a promoter, I would definitely make a big turnaround with a lot of different things that I seen that were crooked that actually happened. And I have the backup and support too. I have some of the toughest people. Then I have awesome people that know how to do things. So it could go either way for them if they want to be tough. I think
Okay.
it would be a good thing because I have a foundation called the I Want to Help You Foundation, which is a nonprofit, and I'm just trying to get things going as slow as I can. That's kind of why I'm in this interview with you today, and I thought maybe this talking about these things would be a great thing. And so go ahead. What's the next
Yeah.
one? I want to hold you up.
Alan Sullivan. He's 11-2, December 2nd, 2000. You
Hey,
called
dog.
him a dog. You called him a stepping stone prior to the fight and choking him out. You guys had a rivalry.
Dude, we had a super rivalry. We talk stupid to each other, man. Hey, you want to throw this fight? No, I can't do that, man. It's not inside. He actually, when I started kicking his ass, he was like, "Yo, I thought we could try to work this or something like that." I said, "Are you kidding me? I ain't doing no shit like that. I can never do something like that." Yeah, that's kind of what I experienced in the arena. Um, but I defeated that. And that was another fight that Richard Hamilton was at. For some reason, I had like butterflies that day when I fought. Out on the second time, that was at Cajun House in Old Town Scottsdale.
Yeah. You had a lot of opponents pull out too. Tim Wilson pulled out. You fought Kevin Christopher. Then you go and Carlos Lopez pulls out. And then Jacob Hennessis falls out and you fight Kauai Kupihea again. Like you had a lot of guys dodging you too.
Dude, they wanted to beat my fucking ass. Do you understand? Like if you had a bird's eye view of my life and you actually understood the whole inside situation, not just on the out. What? It was that. That's what was truly going on. And it was bad. It was so bad that, I mean, this was a Roots movie, man. You know, I shouldn't even refer to it like that because some people might be offended. But I mean, damn, it was brutal.
Did you ever try to pick a fight with Rick Roufus at any of the local events?
I sure the fuck did. I sure the fuck did. Let me tell you, because everybody was jumping on the bandwagon with the bullshit. And so who Gene, what's that guy's name? Gene, the jiu-jitsu guy. What's his name? Gene or
Talking about Gene LeBell? Judo Gene LeBell?
no. He was really good at him and Mark Lehman used to go at it a lot in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And he trained at Rick Roufus's gym. So I meet this girl from Alaska, like this blonde. And I have a respect thing. You know, MMA fighters don't hit on each other's chicks, that sort of thing. I bring this chick in, and Roufus thinks because he's, you know, world champion, he's just gonna, you know, hit on the chick that I'm with. Like, who is this fucking guy? Who's this in-bomb type of thing? Like, I'm like, dude, you don't talk to me. Like, what do you mean? Who's this fucking guy? Who the fuck are you? You know, who are you to like fuck with me like that? You ain't fucking with me like that, right? So he hit on her. He said some. She tells me later that he said some slick shit behind my back. I was like, really? So when I see him at the Rage in the Cage show, he's like on this part of the like a part where I couldn't get to him, and there was a rail there. So I was like, that's when I confronted him. I was like, hey, mother, you think you bad, motherfucker? I will beat your ass right here. Let's go. Come on, let's go. He's shitting his fucking stance, man. He didn't want to move. It didn't matter at that time because he knew I was one. He knew I was that guy not to play with like that. Definitely. And I made sure that I let him know that not to do that again.
They said throughout the entire night, whenever the crowd got low, you would yell across the room, "Hey, Rick, bang, bang." That's true?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah. You know, I kind of got that from one of my, I think Jovan used to say that all the time, you know, because he learned it from he learned it from Sammy. So he would go, and it used to crack me up. He'd be like, bang, 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 bang. So I come up with this thing called Team Bang, right? I come up with this thing called Team Bang because I like to bang, 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 right? This little mafia thing, right? And it was kind of funny though. And so that's what I was saying to Rick. I was like, yo, Rick, bang, 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 bang. It was hilarious, man. If you fucking seen how the joke was, you would be laughing your ass off. But you know, not everybody knew how the joke was. It was a joke though. You know, but
And
he was an asshole though for what he did though. I mean, I mean, that was wrong. I mean, I wouldn't hit on somebody's chick like that, but whatever. Like,
wow, but the way he handled it, he wouldn't do it again. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I think I got a little ghetto with it, but I mean, at that point, I had to. I mean, I
Okay.
had too many people fucking with me, so it's like if I don't put this dude in check, then it's gonna keep happening. I can't let it get too out. You know, I had to do something.
So talking about people fucking with you. 2008 June, Gustavo Dantes grappling tournament at Arizona Brazilian Jiu Jitsu State Championships. You and Ricardo Texiera have to be separated.
Yeah. Was that a black belt Brazilian Jiu Jitsu?
Yeah.
Actually, I think he did. This guy beat me or did he not?
I don't know. I know you guys had to be separated. I don't know if you guys ever grappled or not. He's a pretty advanced guy.
Hmm. Yeah, it was like this. I trained at Megatons, and that's one of the most dirtiest Brazilian jiu-jitsu schools that you could come out of. And the clan that I graduated with from there, I mean, it didn't matter at that time, because like it's gonna get a little bit of street and like Meg would say, you lose your wife, your dog, or your kids, and you get fucked in the ass. And so, and when it comes time to whether he was a great instructor at that time, I was a great wrestler, not just that, but my striking was very good, and I was pretty good at what I did. So I was very confident that I could handle my business at that time.
So you had a bunch of people pulling out. Bill
I
Parker
beat some
pulled up.
black belts before. That's you
Yeah.
know, and then
It's
we'll get into the what's his name Tony D'Souza whenever you're ready for that.
yeah, I got a lot. I do, dude. Your career's nuts. Like it's crazy. Like I've even got even more questions going down that road. So here, let's talk about this. The Lions Den. You had mentioned that you went to the Lions Den to work out. There's supposed to be a rite of passage when you go in there where they put you through a hard workout. And once you're through
Oh
the hard
man,
workout, Ken Shamrock then fights you
they,
while he's
they,
fresh.
he what?
Well, what he'll do, well, here, this is what
Okay,
I've
no,
been
I
told.
want to hear that again. You say that, I want to hear
What
that
I've
again.
been told was that the new guys coming in would be put through a
Yeah.
really hard workout where Ken would be watching the entire time. That person would be tired, and then a fresh Ken Shamrock would spar them. Is that what happened to you?
Oh, dude. Okay, so check this out. I got Pete Williams, Vernon Tiger White. What was that? And I got who was the other guy? There was another
Is it
Gary.
Scott Basak,
What was the guy? Gary.
Tony
What's the guy?
Galindo?
No. Tony was there. What's that guy's name that beat Kevin Jackson? He submitted him. White kid. Was it Gary
Jerry
Boland?
Bolander.
Yeah, Bolander was there.
Okay.
So I'm sparring with all these dudes, right? So that meat factory shit really didn't go with me because I'm from Maryville, So Maryville is like fucking very competitive where I'm from as far as like
Put the work in. Yeah.
when it comes to putting work in and street wise and fight wise. So I already had the heart, right, for that when I was in that arena in Chula Vista at that time. So I really wasn't paying attention to that until when I seen how brutal it was, man. I mean, dude, there was I've never seen a fight studio have it where like, so this Asian guy comes in there and he's fighting. They
He's talking about
tap.
TK. He's talking about TK.
This guy at that time, he was probably brand new. Okay.
Okay.
So this, no, actually, he was not TK, but there was another Asian guy that came in. This
Okay.
guy comes in. When this guy comes in, he's brand new. Okay. And when I say brand new, meaning like he just started, right? He didn't know anybody.
Agree.
He fights his ass off. His fucking eye was purple. He's knocked out. He gets choked out, right? While he's choked out like this, they're still banging him. Bing, bing,
Oh
bing,
man.
bing, bing. His head's bouncing off the fucking mat, the wrestling mat like that. I said, God damn, I'm watching this shit. It was like watching a fucking movie, right? I'm like, God damn, these guys, I mean, you got to prove how fucking crazy your gym is to me. Like, is this what you're doing? Because that's not, to me, it's like, it's kind of too much, Because, I mean, a guy's got to learn to ass whooping, I get it, but not like that. You ain't going to teach an ass whooping. You can't teach an ass whooping. because you're supposed to teach the guy how to fucking not get an ass whooping, right? That's what I'm thinking, right? So it kind of was like that. So he has no rules when it comes to negligence in the gym. So what I mean by that is like, hey, I got to fight Evan Tanner 2 weeks from now, right? Yeah, Vernon, you what you washed up. You already had your chance. You got fucking beat. You got beat. Whatever. And so I got to take it easy. I this is going to be a cakewalk for me. And plus, I've been dealing with fucking the devil dogs, the investigation. I need a fucking break. I need this shit off of me, right? So I'm still going towards my goal. I'm still prevailing. Saria hated it. Everybody's fucking hating it because Homer Moore is still going. So that's why he couldn't back me with the UFC. That's why he was like, so where I'm going is like fucking Vernon Tiger White cracks me. I'm like, I'm in his guard. Ken Shamrock is watching the whole thing, and he knows I got to fight. Vernon cocks back like this while I'm in his car, and I go to myself, I know this guy's not going to hit me like that when I got to fight in 2 weeks, right? Hits me anyway. I cover up, I go down, I'm still on top of him. And I said, man, I hope I'm not leaking. I don't want to fucking lose it, because if I lose it right now, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker right here in Chula Vista, California, because he's fucking up the greatest opportunity for me in my fucking life right now. And I've been through some shit, and I'm not gonna let him fucking destroy my dream. That's how serious it was. And I never respected. I never respected any of those dudes after that. I mean, the fight game, you talk your shit. Like him and Tito had their shit talk. They're cool now. That's how it goes. But it's not like a rivalry gang thing forever and ever and ever. That's kind of how I felt like it was. It kind of got a little twisted. So yeah, when I got cuts, they had to put butterfly stitches over my head, or my I think it was my left eye. And I'm like, okay, all right, damn, man, I can't believe it. This guys are the same way. So what ended up happening is when I got to the UFC, freaking they weren't done yet, right? Which we'll get to that story, right? About how my
right here,
my ankle fucking somehow gets fucking twisted, where my so Chuck Liddell's going to go get some Novocaine. He's trying to help me.
Like, where was this at? Where did this happen?
At the UFC. This is when I'm getting ready to fight Tanner. So I had already got cut at the Lions Den 2 weeks before that, which could have put me out of the fight with Evan Tanner, right?
So that's November 2nd, 2001, UFC 34. Okay.
Right. High voltage, right? So
you're there.
So 2 weeks prior to that was maybe October fucking, say 28th or something like that, right? I got cut by Vernon. Right? I mean, this cut was bad. They had a what you call it, put the tape on it
butterfly stitch.
Yeah, so it was one of those type of things. But to me, like I've seen like what's his name? Phil Baroni cry about the small, and he didn't even get cut. Phil's in there, crying his eyes out, dude. But the dude would pull off a fight because he conducted his practices and his work. Him and Dewey Cooper would conduct their practices the right way. So that's the same sort of thing, the same type of way I was trying to go about things with my practices at the Lions Den, which I had no choice but to go there. It was the next best thing because it wasn't too far away, and my sponsors could afford that, because I couldn't do it back home because I was so afraid that Roland Saria was surrounded by Michael Papa. Him and him were best friends, and who knows if this guy was trying to sabotage me to fight, just my life, to stay there and fight for him and make him money. I mean, it was a whole crooked situation. So that's why I chose to go to the Lions Den, because I didn't have that protection I needed to help me be able to see things,
to develop.
So I could get around these pre-planned issues that can put me in situations where I wasn't stuck, you know. And
so you mentioned
so
you hurt your ankle with Chuck Liddell. What take us through that?
So Ken somehow, like, so we're watching. I'm a connoisseur at watching technique. I'm really good at watching. The way that he did that was not an accident. It was
Who's
purpose.
he? You're talking about Ken.
You're talking about Ken Shamrock.
So he hurt your ankle.
Yeah, which we're talking about a big fight with me and Tanner at that time. It's big for Tanner and it's big for me because he just got beat by Ortiz. I'm a new uppercomer that's gonna smash whether I'm on point, and I would have beat him with my eyes closed. It was that simple. I would have mopped him up. It would have been over with.
So you roll with Ken, and what
after
happens?
the practice is over, I say, "Hey, Ken, show me one of your signature moves that you use. That I just kind of want to, have an experience with the champ. That sort of thing, right? An experience with the champ. That's it." And so he says, he's got my leg, and does this thing where he goes behind the leg to throw you in like a wrestling move to throw you on your back, where you trip the leg a little bit, like scissor the leg, right? The ankle goes. I couldn't stand on it. I'm walking around. I can't fight. I don't want to give these guys on pay-per-view a home or more that this not really is, man. I've had enough.
So this is fight week that this happens.
Dude, this is the real deal this week. Yeah. That's serious.
So you got butterfly stitches and a popped ankle.
And I got a fucking murder investigation.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
Dude, on top of that, it was like so much on my plate, man. And then they got the promoter, just doing whatever he can to maneuver. I can imagine some of some of the shit that was said. I've heard some things. And so, yeah, at a young age, at 28 years old, I had a lot going on at that time on my plate. And so to stay focused, to keep my mind clear, to keep moving forward, it was very tough for me, especially at that moment in a time that really counted, and not having the support that I really needed in an arena like that. So after he did that, they did tell Dana White that, hey, you know what? Let's put Vernon in Homer's place. Yeah, we're gonna replace this black guy with the other black guy, like a slave trade type thing. And I go, look at dude, I didn't want to say it like brother. I did not want to say it like that. But this guy's thinking was like that. Remember, I've been around a lot of different people.
Sure are you that they try to trade you out?
Brother, it was the guy's hurt. So if you're a technician at that level, okay, look at all the other fighters. Okay. Dude, you can't hurt me. I don't want to go that way. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. No. Even if it's something that won't hurt them, these guys aren't doing it. Whether they lose or not, but they're walking to the fight 100%. I've seen it a lot. Okay. And so you're talking to a journeyman here, a pioneer that understands this business. And so the replacement was supposed to be that. Then I go, no, they were like, no, we want to see Homer. Okay, we want to see Homer. They're not understanding what happened. It was turned around as if Homer wants to go fucking party. Homer doesn't want to fucking party. Homer's sitting back because he knows he's not 100%, and he knows what this guy just did to him. Okay, and there's nobody there to understand that. These guys are putting in their words. He's a journeyman. He's been in the UFC for a while. Who's going to listen to Homer? Plus, Homer's got other shit going on. So
he's got murder investigation happening in real time.
Brother, listen, if to see to them, they've never had these type of experiences, so they wouldn't know, and they're looking down on me, and like I'm not a person, and like I'm not an individual. So, so they kind of jumped on the bandwagon in sort of a way, and in a negative way, which I think that would have happened regardless, because those are the type of people that they were at that time. So, and whether or not I had that in my life or not, I think it would have went that way.
Okay, so UFC 34, your pre-fight interview says Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is penny ante swindle shit. That's what you call Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, man. I mean, because I mastered getting out of submissions. And the only way, but by me making that comment, I ended up. It makes it look like I ended up eating it because I got armbarred, right? But nobody knew that. At the end of it, I mean that. Oh, well, what happened? Homer Moore's ankle was blown before the fight, so now he's going to have to eat what he said. Well, of course I'm going to have to eat that. I mean, how can I say? And Everett Tanner was just hitting the arm bars, and he knew his days were over because why? I mean, he wasn't that tough. He was drinking a lot, and I saw him here at one of the boxing things that Roland had did, and it just looked sad, brother. It looked so sad that like you could smell the alcohol off of him from like 3 or 4 feet back. Um, and he was still tough as nails. But things were changing for him. So I don't think I should have. Can you hear me? I can't.
Even back then, things were changing for him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just the transition. So, but he can always say at the end of the day, he was a world champion. He can say that and be happy with that, walk away and help people, you know, help people. He could have did that.
So you had mentioned a murder that you were under investigation for. Karam Hussein Jabbar.
Mhm.
His murder happened in 1999. Did you even know him? Did you know who he was?
Dude, I didn't know the guy. I still, to this day, like, I got friends of mine that tell me what kind of person he was, um, things of that nature. Um, he was a crazy guy. He ordered people around and stuff like that. The guy had a pretty crazy rap, you know, for being a young guy, from what I understand. And you know, he put it this way. I heard he did a lot of things, Yeah.
Well, in your situation, you were arrested in 2013 by the U.S. Marshals and the Tempe Police. And
Yeah.
Michael Pooley, who was the police spokesperson. Do you
Mhm.
remember him?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't remember him personally. But I remember one guy had a mustache, and then one guy drove me. So I think he was the guy that drove me in the van when I was handcuffed. And at first I thought it was like a child support situation, right? And I was like, because the mother, she really wanted, they were just really on me, and so she got this new boyfriend and stuff like that, and it was just sour. But anyhow, yeah, I think that day I kind of knew something was up, because when I walked outside the classroom, I looked at the security guard, and he looked up in the air. I'm very street smart, and I was like, "What the heck Why is he acting like that?" Then I had a phone call prior. Hey, Homer, can you come train with me? And I want my kid. Where you at right now? I said, "Well, I'm in school right now." And then within time of that, Boom, they were at the school.
You
At
got arrested at
Glendale
work, huh?
College. No, at Glendale Community College.
You got arrested at the school. Wow.
Yeah. I'm walking, dude. I have to get arrested in front of the whole campus. So I go back up there after the case got dismissed, right? I go back up there and I'm like, hey, I wanna return and finish up my education. They're like, but you you got arrested. I said, yeah, but do you see me here right now? Right here, right? Okay, so I can finish my education. This ain't, this ain't 1910, sweetheart. Come on, man. Let's go. I got the paper right here. And I got a letter from the state, the state uh, attorneys saying that Homer Moore was wrongfully arrested. And
Well, it gets deep, Phil. Like you're really, maybe it's because you lived it, but you're really being kind about what really took place there in regards to you.
well, because you got some with those experiences, like when I told you about the UFC, right? The Ken Shamrock thing. This guy is still walking around. A part of my life if you've been studying it. And you can see you're like shit. But at the end of the day, it's like, what am I supposed to do? What would you do? Just start having more fights, or do I just chill, keep my monotone, stay in control of where I do my best at? Because the thing is that I I think that some of those people have to live with that. They got to really live with that, and
let's quantify this. Let me set the table. This murder took place in 1999. He's found in the trunk of a car wrapped in plastic. It appeared, and this is, this is the first time you and I really ever talked. But reading the articles and kind of researching him, it appears that he may have owed somebody a lot of money. And like he may have fucked up some cash.
He was involved, with the ecstasy, and I'm sure from what I heard, it could have been like $37,000. It could have been more that was owed, and as a result, it probably cost him his life.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
and that's what happens, and that's the game.
Dude, yeah.
That's the game.
Owe somebody $40,000. What do you think? If you owe somebody come on, brother.
You owe a drug dealer 40,000. Not just a business, not a bank, not a car loan, not a house loan.
I tell you what, you owe me $300, motherfucker. I'm gonna be at your door like, hey, where's my? I'm sorry, man. I don't want to get real ghetto on you, but where's my fucking money at?
So he was wrapped in plastic and duct tape, and it was as plain as day that it was. I think they could have done a better job to get rid of his body, but especially but they didn't leave any fingerprints on the duct tape or the or the saran wrap. But that's neither here nor there.
Whatever they did, they did it well, I guess.
So he gets arrested, or he dies in 99. In 2013, you get arrested for it. They claim that you were the last person to see him.
And they claim that I have fucking DNA, fucking all this shit. I mean, come on, man.
Well, here, I'll tell you. So Michael Pooley.
How can you fucking say all that, and scar my name? And then, to me, it's, I don't know, man.
Let me repeat it. Michael Pooley mentioned at the press conference about you, dude, that's rough, that Homer Moore liked to talk to a lot of people, especially the random ones that he didn't know. They had you on a wiretap with Sammy the Bull stating, "I won't rat on anyone." That's his words. I watched it.
yeah. Never rat, never roll. You know, I've said that before. You know, I've said that, but that doesn't mean that it was. You know, I mean what they're saying. You know, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
that. You know, so,
You
but you know, anybody can say what they want, just like all the fucking time. You know, and at the end of the day, what is it? What is it? You if you say, see, when you're around a crowd like that, you definitely don't want people talking shit about you. You don't want people twisting your name, okay, in those circles, because the circle could turn into something else. Then it's like, fuck, man. Before you know it, 1,000 things are said about you. You can't fuck with that. That's a headache in itself.
okay?
Hey, man, I'll never rat, never roll. I'll fucking, dude, I fuck the
Stand
police.
by it.
Look,
Yeah.
look, fuck the police. Fuck all that. Let's clarify that right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want no problems with none of this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that.
So you were
I'm like down out, man. I'm like, yo, like a samurai, man. Fuck all that shit, man. Hey, bro, you can have anybody. All these motherfuckers can have all that shit. Go ahead, dude.
from top to the bottom. Fuck it.
Tap it. Bro, I don't want none of this, man. Fuck that shit. Next thing you know, I could have been in a situation with him. Come on.
So
You know what I'm saying? Facts, bro. So it's like you play with some cutthroat people that not only that he trusted, but then turn around and then put him in jail. You see what I'm saying?
So you were held for 2 years.
Huh?
You were held for 2 years.
2 fucking years, about 2 birthdays, making what was I making? I was making cakes and shit in there. I mean, dude, and I did not fit in. I did not fit in. I was like that. I was like the blackest white guy in there.
So you're saying that there's levels to the ghetto game. Is that
Oh
what
my
you're telling me?
god, bro! I was like, man, I told this one nigga, bro. I was like, bro, listen, man, if you don't fucking get the fuck off my neck, bro, I'm gonna break every vertebrae in your goddamn neck, man. Because I was playing chess, he kept fucking with me, and he's part of one of the street gangs in it, man. Like, they were deep, you know. But the thing I had going for me is when we get in that cell when it's 1-on-1, then you're in trouble. It didn't matter if you were 6'9", 260 like Kauai Kupihea or something like that. It didn't matter. You know, I was going to handle my business, brother, regardless of the situation. You know, I'm a normal citizen that's going through a situation in my life. There's nothing I can do about it. I have to walk through it. Okay. And that's just what it is. It's not, you know, am I gonna hate white folks? No, I'm not. I'm gonna continue fucking being who I am, and that's just what it is, you know. Because a lot of people were asking me, "Oh man, you still?" Yeah, bro. There's a lot of white folks that got impacted from this shit that were hurting about it, you know, that it bothered them. So you know, all I could do is pray for them. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm here as a man 10 toes down and walking forward. You know, I'm very grateful. God was on my side.
Okay. And dude, please, I hope I'm not too intrusive in this, but
Go ahead. Guys.
I know how the feds work. And it is one of the most corrupt system of just us that you're ever going to see. It is the federal system is terrifyingly. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. It really is.
I would like, look, man, I'm happy where I'm at. So I could see, like, I can imagine, like, did you see that podcast on with Sammy, man? How he was talking? He was saying that like he had to bend over with his, you know, just imagine you have to take your clothes down, bend over, and let another man
cough.
see your ass.
Yeah, you got cough. All right. Well, just so people can, let me
go ahead.
Let me set the table so people kind of understand the federal system. Everybody's seen The Lion King. Like with that crazy dude, blonde haired gay dude. The was it the Lion King, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He is using methamphetamines given to him by the people wearing a wire for the feds. They ply him with drugs, get him wound up by pushing his buttons, sometimes recording, sometimes not recording, antagonizing him so to get him to say a certain line. Then he gets charged federally, where he says, wait a minute, you got 8 charges here. These 4 are total crap. You guys gave me the drugs that got me crazy. And now he's doing like 30 years for like an attempted murder for hire out of a crazed meth head who was given the drugs. Like that's the federal system. Like, you want to give him a couple years, slap his hand, cool. You're going to give him a 30 piece for drugs that you gave him. Come on, man. Come on, bro. You didn't get him. That ain't a body. That ain't no body. I ain't honoring that.
It's nasty.
It's nasty. Michael Nunn got set up. Pro boxer Michael Nunn kept having, dude, a friend of his, acquaintance of his, kept telling him, I got a key of coke for $300. Nope. Okay, fuck it. Here's $300. Go give me that fucking coke. You don't come back here, I'm gonna fuck you up with it. The guy hit him like 30 times with the, come on, man, $300 a key of coke. They gave him 28 years because he may have had a gun when he threatened the guy. Come on, man. Come on, man. That ain't right. None of that's right. None of it. Whether it's Tiger King or Michael Nunn, neither of those are right. And that's the federal system. You sitting in there for 2 years. It looks to me that they're trying to flip you against the Sammy or those other guys and hanging this murder over your head. Am I off or am I in?
No. Nothing like that ever happened to me. Nothing like that.
Did they never try to push you to testify against anybody?
Oh no, nobody ever mentioned anything to me. Nothing ever.
And then why did they stretch so far? Because they didn't even go to trial with you. They dropped it before you went to trial.
The detective lied to the grand jury about the situation. So when they asked him, were there any felons? Because I'm not a felon. Were there any felons in this case that that are involved in this case? The detective said, no, there is no felons. When Michael Papa was a felon, all the other guys were felons. Okay, there are felons involved in there. You tell the grand jury. Tell the grand jury that there are felons in this case, and you lie, you perjure yourself, and you're an officer of the court.
Yeah, the Brady Act.
Everybody, hey, dude, anybody that can read that was the opposite color of skin like me, and I already could see it because these are my brothers, and I'm like, oh, okay. You just made my brother suffer, and they can read that. You can see that shit. You can't see that. What do you mean? Are you looking this way? Are you which way are you looking? What? Why don't you see what we're seeing?
Okay. So were they trying to get? Do you think one of those guys was trying to get a discount on a sentence to try to set you up? How does it get here?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, something to that magnitude.
He wouldn't testify.
God, it was obvious. You can see the whole fucking thing. Okay. So it's like, so for you to lie and do that, not only are you going to lose your job, but now the state's in jeopardy. Now you put everybody else that's behind you from all different levels that are tied to this whole situation from different orgs. So it can really impact in such a way that can be horrifying.
Okay.
And this guy did that. Not only did that, and I sit there and I know, how this kind of thing works. And so I'm like, Oh, goodness gracious. Good luck with that, man. You think you made me sit in there for 2 years, man. I can imagine how life's gonna be for everybody else. It's gonna be
Okay, wait.
bad.
So, I'm not going to say I've seen things like this happen because I haven't. But I can kind of see how things line up. Do you think he had a witness that he was hoping to flip with the state? Witness me in terms of, I'm going to get you a discount on your
Dude,
time.
listen,
Maybe
bro,
somebody gave him some
listen.
bullshit information, so you just kind of piece it together.
Brother, listen.
How'd you get on his radar, man?
If you have concrete shit, we wouldn't even have to talk about this stuff. Our shit is that fucking sideways. Okay. Like, I would never want to experience and see it for myself. That's something that I would hope would stay in the dark over there. And guys that do that, let them do it. But now I understand, like, people that are actually in those dilemmas. Okay. And how do you foresee that? Like, do they actually deserve it? So in my case, maybe the guy, like, I could see,
Where's his hard on for you come? Where's it come from? You got to know. You sat there for 2 years. Where's that cop's hard on come from?
Where's my heart come from?
Him, the cop.
Well, I tell you what, the people that know me and respect me, especially in the law enforcement industry, he probably got beat up.
Okay, one of them. All right.
I mean, that's not the big part, but I'm saying, he's getting some tough love. He's got to be. No matter where you go with that, because that type of thing right there, man, it ain't nobody that's gonna. I mean, because right now it's like we're discussing this 20 something years later. It's still on the internet, and I'm gonna go get a job. I still got my I got my my concealed weapons permit.
You get your CCW?
Yeah, I got that.
Good.
I got my weapons here and on my gun safe where, I got 2 daughters, 1 7, 1 4. Hey, and man, and I'm teaching them self-defense to defend themselves. Dad's teaching them, the unjust out there, what could happen, what to look for, what to search for,
Okay.
what to say, how to, a lot of things. So it goes a lot. It's a lot of positives that come out from my family, but at the same token, we know what's out there and what could happen.
Right.
Go ahead.
Let me change it up a little bit. Let me change it up because that's some heavy shit, man. That's some heavy. And I tell you, the way you talk about it, there'd be a lot more. It'd be a lot darker from most people in regards to where they come from than you right now, because
the thing is that, brother, I just learned how to harness, because you have a lot of great, not just great people like you out there, but you got a lot of greatness out there. That energy kind of it kind of goes towards you. You see, because everybody works off of a nice positive energy, and once it touches you, I mean, it's like, all right, I have today. I feel like I could just relax, just chill. I mean, I'm not. I got to focus on other things. Like, okay, what's my plan with this nonprofit? What's my plan with, the UFC? What's the rest? Stuff like that and stuff. But when I get opportunities like this, I do like to address things.
Okay. All right, here, let me change it up a little bit.
Go ahead.
Benson Henderson.
Who?
Benson Henderson. In 2013, while attending Duel for Dominance, you were yelling shit at the audience from him or to him.
Benson Henderson in the lab?
Yeah.
I've always said positive things to him, man. Like,
not that night.
Not that night?
No.
Ooh,
Like you got
ooh,
thrown out
ooh.
of there that night, actually.
Did I? Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I tell you what was said to me. I tell you what was said. They
Go ahead,
said
go ahead.
while attending Duel for Dominance, he was thrown out of the event for yelling racial slurs at Benson Henderson.
I was calling him all kinds of nigger names, or what was I saying?
I think so, dude. I think so.
So I was supposed to call them niggers?
I
Oh
guess.
my
I don't
god.
know.
I don't know about that. I gotta,
No,
because you know what? I saw Henderson at where was it? Oh, you know who that could have been was Joe Riggs. Me and Joe Riggs were like rivals,
you
big
were
time.
beefing with Joe.
Yeah,
Joe's always rivalries with everybody.
yeah. Well, nah, man. He called me in bombs for years, man.
I can see that.
Years and just like see, I got in trouble with the boxing commission because I did some coke, and I think I mentioned it to somebody, and he goes back and tells the boxing commission they suspend me and all these N words. So this N word thing has been coming out for a very long time with
Mm.
him, and he's always just been a sore loser. So so when I beat him, I was supposed to, I fought Deweese, and then Rolly could let it be a double whammy for both of his two top fighters from Barlosa Academy. So and then I didn't remember the David Harris win that was over at when, because had I did that I would have deflected that. So being that I was kind of managing and doing my own thing, I kind of had they had ammunition going this way, that way, and so I kind of had to figure out how to dodge all this mess. And plus, they had good people. They had fucking law enforcement behind them, and they would always throw that at me, like, "Yo, Homer, we got law enforcement over here." Nah. And I'm like, and they're throwing the race car. So I'm like, God damn, these motherfuckers just don't stop. So I wouldn't say anything. I try not get involved and wrapped up in that. Then they're but behind closed doors, you know, some of the things that are happening. That's what's happening. So it just made it very,
Uh,
very sticky situation.
I think behind closed doors, the first time I ever saw you fight live was January 27th, 2002. Ultimate
Mhm.
Athlete. You fought Jim Theobold. I thought you
Oh,
got,
you saw that one?
I
Oh
was
my
there
god,
live. I was there
that was
live.
in
You got
fucking
fucked.
Hamilton.
Indiana,
Uh,
Hammond, Indiana, Hammond
oh my
Civic Center.
god. And then after that, we're outside, and I didn't know that was like a KKK. Dude, the energy and the vibe. Like, I've been to New York, I've been to Jersey, I stayed in Baltimore when I was a kid, and being here in Arizona, you meet a melting pot of people. And I think we got some of the greatest white folks here in Arizona, even though I went to jail or whatever. But I would tell you this: everywhere else I've been, it's been like I'm grateful for Arizona. I tell you that, hands down. But that Hamilton place was something serious over there.
Hammond
And
Civic
I
Center.
did, and I
Yeah.
did, and I did after I did, like, I knew I got screwed because I dominated the takedown. Like, I was 6'4", he would know what he was doing. Jim was trying to go.
Yeah, he was on his back the whole time, man. You got screwed.
He was supposed to. They wanted him to. So those are the type of things, like in this stuff that in MMA. Uh,
Man,
but I still,
do you gotta get going? Are you good? Because I got a couple more. If I got a couple. You got more bullshit on your record.
go ahead, go ahead. I'm good.
I
I'm
mean, I
good.
know I've had
Go
you a
ahead.
long time, man. I've had you a long time, so I apologize for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So you
I'm
beat
good.
Joe Riggs. You beat Joe Riggs. And then let me get it.
He
Dan
goes to the
Severn.
UFC, and hey,
Dan
listen,
Severn
he goes
draw.
to the UFC.
Dan
That
Severn
wasn't
draws
that wasn't
bullshit.
bro. Hey, listen, that was bullshit. 100%, 100%, hundred
Dewey's was
percent
bullshit.
straight bullshit.
Edwin Dewey's was bullshit.
100% bullshit. I mean, I had to learn how to keep my prestige, though, brother. I had to learn.
So you got those two
I had to
bullshit
learn,
fights.
and I'm not a sore loser. Hey, if you whoop my ass, hey, dude, if you whoop my ass, I was straight call it out. Like that fight with me and what was that Brazilian's name? On IFL, on the IFL that I lost, the heavyweight. Mark, he was what Mark, what's his name to beat Kevin Randleman? Boss Wooten. He was Boss's
He,
guy.
let me take a look. Your IFL. I got your record in front of
Yeah.
me. Oof, I
Yeah.
don't
So
see
I was
your
training in
IFL.
Chicago
With the Red Bears, with Zinoviev.
yeah, what was the guy's name?
Igor Zinoviev was your coach.
Alan something, right? Yeah, but Alan something
Goes.
was the Goes. So that was
Yeah.
Boss Wooten. I should have went through him. Now that was a loss because I got there and I wasn't in the best shape, and and then come to, I learned so much about. Did you even have that challenge Kimbo Slice too? Or no?
I don't have that in my notes, but here, the Red Bears. Did you ever work out with Igor Zinoviev?
Uh,
That was
actually,
a
I
coach.
trained. That was a coach. I never met him before.
Okay, so he was Jeffrey Epstein's bodyguard, just so you know.
Jeffrey Epstein's bodyguard.
Yeah, he was Jeffrey Epstein's bodyguard.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Now
knew that.
let's end with this one. December 27, 2003, Rumble on the Rock. You fight Mr. Chael Sonnen.
Oh yeah. And I came. Remember, I told you the story about the Mexico story with Kupihea.
Yeah.
This time, I'm in a plane with turbulence, with tequila in my stomach. Okay, can you imagine that? I mean, dude, my stomach is like, it's like I got some acid in there or something, and it's going right. So I'm hurt. So now I pick up this coffee. I'm a wrestler. I sweat the poison out of me, and so I'm trying to get the weight down. Hawaii is not a place. It's not like a place where you could really, my body could really like get where it needed to be to drop the weight. So it made it very difficult for me, and because of the way the weather was, perfect timing. And so do the bout. He accepts the bout. Hey,
You
you
were
want to
eight
fight
pounds
Homer?
overweight. Yeah, you were 8 pounds overweight.
Not that much. I'd say about four,
Okay.
four, something like that. Because
Mhm.
I cut some of them. I was about 4 pounds over. Well, no, 8 pounds. That's exaggerated. So
He
three or
claimed
four pounds. I could.
he claims to have taken a fight on 3 days' notice.
He did.
That's what he claims. I mean, who knows if it's true?
Dude, what? Come on. If you're fighting Homer the Rock Moore, okay, this being super heavyweights, you ain't training lightly. And plus, I won the Olympic qualifier, so you're gonna take a 3 day fight notice on me? No, not no 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 no. I think he was more pissed off. The dude was crying. He accepts the bout. Okay. And so comes out, he was making fettuccine, and I got this information from the feds. Homer's got gasoline over the dead body. He's talking about Koran, right? He's got gasoline, he lights it up and throws it in the trunk, and I mean, he comes in with all this shit to flex the fucking fight. Okay. And I'm like, to me, like, why would you do all that when all I had was one of my paisans, one of my brothers asked you, Chell, do you have the video of you and Homer Moore fighting in Rumble on the Rock? Because it has on the internet that you won. Let everybody see if you won. Don't just tell everybody that, because we know I won the fight. Okay, so it wasn't negotiated that, hey, if you're 4 pounds over, okay, you know how everybody looks at it. If you get your ass in that octagon and you fight and you lose, you lose. It doesn't matter if you're 10 pounds over, 8 pounds, you lost. Ain't nobody gonna buy that shit. You can walk around and say, yeah, the fight was situated where, like, yeah, if you're 8 pounds over and you lose, you still lose, but you actually win. Nobody, man, you got your ass mopped up. You got mopped up. So back then, it was like, okay, if I fight Homer Moore and he's 4 pounds over, you lose, you lose. It was over. And that was the situation. So he was crying, okay, literally about the situation when it happened. And they turned around.
Your hand got raised. Your hand got raised.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They announced you as the winner.
Like that. Proudly through the whole arena. There's no way in hell you could take that back. That's why when to this day, he's hiding that. And the UFC is now since then giving him a job. Had I had that win right now with the camaraderie, they would be saying Homer Morris topped Chael Sonnen, which this fight was covered up for over 20 years, because that's how it would go. I would go at it. Dude, you can't be there's no way I can walk around here. I spent 2 years in jail. I can't sit around and walk around here and make up stories.
So
you can't get the short. So yeah, I'm just trying to about being a man.
The BJ Penn family are the ones that ran the Rumble on the Rock. And Chael was out there from
so supposedly the father came down and the father's on, and Chael's giving the whole spill because he's looking like a liar. And it comes out, BJ's Penn's father said that, who cares who Homer Moore is? I want to bring you guys back. Well, dude, everybody else that fought in that show, in that arena, they would not have showed up if that was the facts of BJ Penn and his father's show. No, that wasn't it. No, what it is that you lost fair and square. You're piggybacking. You're using them, and to safe shield you. Which what's going to happen is Dana's going to figure out who the liar is, regardless. So you might as well just come out and say, "Hey, I lost the fight to Homer Moore, whether he ate 10 pounds of fettuccine or 100 pounds of fettuccine, like you said." And just leave it at that. You lost the bout.
So he was staying at the Penn compound for an entire month, like prior to this fight. Yeah.
Oh God, dude. That's if he that's right there. It adds up.
Well, Roland Cerrillo was in your corner too.
Yeah, he was. So the story with that is that it wasn't like the UFC thing, okay? This was like, okay, this is Rumble on the Rock. Let's bring him on in. Hey, dude, let's go. Right there. I just needed a body. But one thing I can respect about Chael is when Randy Couture came. What I can respect about Roland is when Randy Couture came to his fight event. I was sitting next to Couture, and Roland walks up. I think he just wanted to walk up just to show the fight fans that he was talking to Couture. I don't know if it was really about me, him telling the truth and the facts of me beating Chael, but he did say that I beat Chael, which I was shocked. I was like, but this is only just to talk to him. That's what I felt like. It was something in it for him. It wasn't a legit thing to me, like how we're talking. It was like something spun off on some other shit. So, but the experience of the win, it should have been more. It should have been looked deeper into. And to this day, I can't wait until it comes out, the video of me getting my hand raised and it hitting the MMA platform on TV where everybody can see it and it's spoken and talked about, and it's gonna hit his numbers because they're gonna see that there's some lying and stuff like that. And I can build, but you know, at the same time, I don't wish the worst for him. But what I can say is like, um, you know, you got to be the fights I've lost. I got to take it for what it is, and that's what it is, man. That's part of the game. If your hand does not get raised, and his hand got raised. I mean, when I fought Jeremy Horn, I mean, I had to accept that. I felt like that could have been a draw right there with me and Horn.
Yeah, it's Mike Riley's show in Minnesota.
Yeah, yeah. I think that right there
I was at that
with
one
me
too.
and Horn. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was at that one too.
what,
Yeah.
what was your thoughts on that?
I thought it could have went either way. Yeah, I mean, I thought you were on top. Horn really couldn't do
I
much on
dominated
bottom.
the takedown. That's how it works. Even if you're jujitsu and you're good at it, if you dominate that takedown, the wrestler does, whoever the aggressor is, that's the point up over jujitsu. You have to hit a
Yeah.
submission. There was never an arm bar. There was never a choke. He threw some strikes, some elbows from the bottom. He was effective there.
Yeah.
But again, I dominated the takedown. So, I mean, I think I did what was necessary. I think I played the game right. And I should have been awarded for my hard work in
I
that
agree.
game.
So Homer, what would you like to leave your fans with? What would you like them to know? How would you want to close this out?
Well, first off, to my fans, I definitely want them to see the video between me and Chael Sonnen. I definitely want them to see that so they can know what the man that they're behind and that they're supporting is a true winner. And it's not me just saying what I'm saying. Okay. And then let's see. And then my situation with the arrests and all that, the negativity that they caught from that. You know, there was never a true release of Homer Moore has had his case dismissed, and the charges are just and he's free of charges, and he isn't the one that they said did it. You know, so it should be.
I hope you're suing
They
them.
should come out. Huh?
I hope you're suing them.
No, we didn't pursue that because we figured like if we have crookedness, that type of crooked stuff going on in our industry, then you know you're capable of doing other things. You know, so we just kind of
Okay.
we looked into it, but then we kind of like left it alone because like
Why push it? It's over. Let it
handle
ride.
itself, yeah. You know, and I got kids to take care of. I got bigger things going on, and it's like I don't have time to be dealing with some crazy crooked guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time for that. I ain't fucking with that. So just leave that where it be, and maybe he learned his lesson or something. You know.
Okay. Homer, I'm telling you, I think there's going to be a movie about your life, dude. There's a lot. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot, man. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, I can be a little bit more fluffier. It's just, you know, it's like it's not the time right now, you know, and I think it is a fluffy ass thing, man. This is just, I mean, brother, if you were next to me on some of these experiences, I was out on a boat and I had this guy that bodyguarded for billionaires and stuff, right? So, but I don't think I could get suntan. I don't think I could get a sunburn right here in Arizona. So I fell asleep, and it was a night of partying with coke and ecstasy, right? So you take the world champ to this boat, which is me, and I'm laying on this boat, man, and my back. I never had a sunburn before, bro. And I didn't think I could because I was black, and so I get this sunburn, And they're so at like 5 o'clock, we're getting off the boat and walking back to the dock. This is at Lake Pleasant, so we're walking, and this white guy cracks some redneck guy cracks a watermelon joke, and the billionaire white guy cracks him. Right when he cracks him, all I seen was chicken wings and watermelon flying in the air. That was like the funniest. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That like to me was like, wow, did this guy just crack him over that like a racial? I mean, he did that to show that racism needs to stop. It was like one of those type of things. But to me, it was cool. It was kind of cool, right? Looking at the chicken wings in there. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with
Homer,
you.
next time
Yeah.
I'm in Phoenix, I'm stopping over there,
Yeah.
man. I'm gonna grab lunch with you.
Okay.
I gotta stop by and grab lunch. All right, man. Have a good night, dude. I know it's almost
All right.
midnight by you. I apologize, man. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.